The Silencer Project. The Vekari Dominion had laughed when they intercepted the plans. Their intelligence officers distributed the schematics across their command network with mocking commentary attached. "Look at these primitive designs," High Commander Zoltak announced to his war council, mandibles clicking with amusement. "The humans believe this vessel will challenge our superiority." The holographic display showed Earth's prototype warship, a vessel they'd spent 5 years building in secret after the Vekari bombardment of New Shanghai. Commander Ilara Chen stood in Earth Defense Force headquarters, watching the final touches being applied to the EDF silencer through the observation window. Unlike the sleek, biomechanical vessels of the Vekari, the silencer looked deliberately unrefined. Its hull was a patchwork of materials, some reflective, others completely light-absorbent. Exposed cooling arrays jutted from its sides, and what appeared to be hastily attached weapon mounts dotted its asymmetrical frame. "They're still laughing at us," Admiral Reeves said, sliding a tablet across the table to her. The screen displayed intercepted Vekari communications, their military channels buzzing with jokes about human engineering. "They're calling it the junkyard refugee." Chen's jaw tightened. She'd lost her brother in New Shanghai. 2 million humans had died that day when the Vekari decided Earth's colony was inconveniently positioned near a valuable helium-3 deposit. No declarations of war, no demands, just orbital bombardment that turned the settlement into a crater. "Let them laugh," she replied, her voice steady. "They don't understand what they're looking at." That was precisely the point. Earth had been pushed to the edge of extinction by a technologically superior enemy. Conventional warfare was suicide, so they'd gotten unconventional. The silencer wasn't one breakthrough technology. It was a dozen, working in concert, disguised as outdated engineering. What looked like exposed cooling arrays were actually quantum entanglement harvesters. The seemingly random weapon mounts housed gravitational displacement projectors, and the patchwork hull contained millions of nanomachines that could reconfigure in response to attacks. "Your team is ready," Reeves said. "The Vekari patrol fleet near Jupiter's moons doesn't know you're coming." Chen nodded. "Then let's show them what human desperation looks like." Boarding the silencer felt like entering a living organism rather than a machine. The interior was minimal, bathed in blue light, with walls that seemed to breathe. 28 crew members, each handpicked, each having lost someone to the Vekari, took their stations. Chen settled into the command chair, connecting to the ship's neural interface. "Silencer is yours, Commander," the ship's AI announced, its voice a calm feminine tone. They called her Nemesis. "Initiate quantum jump to Jupiter coordinates," Chen ordered. Traditional engines would take weeks to reach Jupiter. The silencer disappeared from Earth orbit and reappeared near Europa in an eye blink. No flashy wormhole, no energy signature. Just there, then not there. The quantum displacement drive was humanity's first true leap forward. The Vekari patrol detected them immediately. 3 warships, each 5 times the silencer's size. Their communication channels exploded with chatter. "They're hailing us," Lieutenant Park reported from communications. "They're laughing." "On screen," Chen ordered. The main display revealed a Vekari commander, his chitinous exoskeleton gleaming under command ship lights. "Humans," he chittered, mandibles flexing with amusement. "You send one poorly constructed vessel against a patrol fleet. Your species truly has a death wish." Chen didn't respond. Instead, she nodded to her weapons officer. "Shadow systems active," the officer reported. "Target locked." The Vekari commander continued. "Your ship looks like it would fall apart in a solar wind. We will add your primitive technology to our museum of conquered species. Surrender now and—" "Fire," Chen ordered. From the outside, nothing visible happened. No energy beams, no projectiles. But inside the lead Vekari ship, every system simultaneously failed. Lights extinguished. Engines died. Life support collapsed. The shadow systems didn't attack the ship. They attacked the dimensional space around it, creating a quantum bubble where electrical impulses couldn't propagate. The Valkyrie weren't laughing anymore. "Second target," Chen said calmly. Before the remaining ships could react, the silencer shimmered, its hull reconfiguring. What had appeared to be exposed wiring rearranged into focusing arrays. This time, there was a visible effect. The space between the silencer and the second Valkyrie warship seemed to fold. The alien vessel crumpled inward, compressed by a localized gravitational singularity. The third Valkyrie ship frantically attempted to jump away, charging its faster-than-light drive. "They're escaping," Park warned. Chen's eyes narrowed. "Let them." The surviving ship vanished into hyperspace, carrying with it the evidence of what had just happened. The Valkyrie Dominion needed to know. They needed to understand that humanity wasn't defeated. It had evolved. 2 Valkyrie warships neutralized, Nemesis reported. 0 casualties on our side. Minimal energy expenditure. Chen stood, facing her crew. Their expressions mirrored her own. Not joy, not celebration, but grim satisfaction. This wasn't about victory. It was about survival. The Valkyrie believe technological superiority gives them the right to exterminate anyone in their path, she said. They'd been the apex predators of this sector for 3 centuries. Today, that changes. Within hours, the Valkyrie High Command received the distress signal from their surviving patrol ship. The footage showed their supposedly invincible warships disabled without a shot fired in the traditional sense. High Commander Zoltak's mandibles no longer clicked with amusement as he gathered his war council. "Find everything about this human vessel," he ordered. "I want to know how they built it, where they're keeping it, and how to destroy it." But the silencer was already gone. Quantum jumped to its next target. Over the next 2 weeks, the pattern repeated. The silencer would appear without warning at Valkyrie outposts, mining operations, or patrol routes. It never attacked civilian targets. Chen was adamant about that distinction between humans and their enemy. But military installations disappeared without a trace. Sometimes the silencer would capture rather than destroy, gathering intelligence and technology before vanishing again. The Valkyrie launched a massive counteroffensive, deploying their most advanced dreadnoughts to hunt the human vessel. They developed new detection arrays specifically calibrated to find the silencer's quantum signature. They even attempted to set traps, using their own warships as bait. None of it worked. The silencer's greatest advantage wasn't its weapons or defenses. It was that the Valkyrie fundamentally misunderstood what they were fighting. They kept searching for technological explanations that fit within their understanding of physics. They couldn't comprehend that humans, pushed to the brink of extinction, had taken scientific leaps that the Valkyrie had never considered because they'd never faced existential threat. Chen stood on the observation deck, watching a captured Valkyrie communication officer being escorted to the brig. The alien's fear was palpable, its movements jerky and uncertain. "They're calling us ghosts now," Admiral Reeves said over the secure quantum channel. "The ghost ship that can't be killed." "We're more than that," Chen replied. "We're their reckoning." The next target was bigger, much bigger. The Valkyrie command station orbiting Saturn's moon Titan. After the destruction of New Shanghai, the Valkyrie had established their forward headquarters there, a monument to their conquest of human territory. "This is risky," Lieutenant Park warned during mission briefing. "They've consolidated their forces, 30 warships, planetary defense systems, and their new anti-quantum field generators." Chen nodded. "That's exactly why we're going. They're afraid." The silencer's crew prepared for what would be their most dangerous mission yet. Engineers fine-tuned the quantum harvesters. Tactical officers analyzed Valkyrie defense patterns. Medical staff prepared for potential casualties. "Nemesis," Chen asked the ship's AI as the crew worked, "what are our odds?" The AI's voice was cool and analytical. "Conventional tactical analysis gives us a 12% chance of success. However, conventional analysis failed to predict our previous 17 victories. The Valkyrie continue to operate within expected parameters. We do not." Chen allowed herself a small smile. That's why we'll win. The quantum jump placed them directly in the heart of the Vicari defense network, not outside it where they'd be detected, but inside where the Vicari believed no ship could possibly appear. For 3 critical seconds, the enemy didn't react, their systems unable to process a vessel materializing in supposedly secure space. Those 3 seconds were all the silencer needed. Full spectrum deployment, Chen ordered. All shadow systems, all gravitational arrays, everything we have. The ship came alive around them, its hull flowing like liquid metal as every weapon and defense system activated simultaneously. The quantum harvesters drew in ambient energy, feeding the ship's needs. Gravitational projectors created localized distortions that shredded Vicari vessels before they could fire a single shot. Shadow systems expanded outward, creating bubbles of technological dead space throughout the enemy fleet. On the command station, alarms blared as systems failed in cascading sequence. Vicari commanders frantically tried to coordinate a response, but their communication networks collapsed under the silencer's attack. High Commander Zoltak watched in horror as his fleet, the pride of the Vicari Dominion, disintegrated around him. The human vessel at the center of the destruction wasn't firing conventional weapons. It was breaking reality itself. What are they? He whispered to his second-in-command. The answer came from a different voice. Commander Chen's, broadcasting on all Vicari frequencies. We are what you created, she said, her voice cold and clear. When you destroyed New Shanghai, you thought you were eliminating a threat. Instead, you taught us that we couldn't fight you on your terms, so we changed the terms. The silencer continued its systematic dismantling of the command station's defenses, leaving the central habitat module intact. This is your only warning, Chen continued. Withdraw from human space. All of it. Or next time, we won't leave survivors to carry our message. As the silencer prepared to quantum jump away, Zoltak stared at the vessel that had just decimated his fleet. It still looked like a patchwork of mismatched technology, ugly, inelegant, but he no longer saw it as primitive. He saw it as terrifying. The human ship vanished, leaving behind the wreckage of Vicari military might and a clear message. They had underestimated Earth for the first and last time. Back on Earth, Admiral Reeves received Chen's transmission. Mission accomplished. Command station neutralized. The Vicari defense network is in chaos. And the next phase? Reeves asked. Chen's reply was simple. We take the fight to their homeland. Empires fall. Word spread quickly through the Vicari Dominion. Their undefeated armada, conquerors of 17 species across 3 spiral arms of the galaxy, had been brought to its knees by a single human vessel. The empire that had stood unchallenged for centuries now faced an enemy they couldn't understand. On the bridge of the silencer, Commander Ilara Chen reviewed the intelligence reports streaming in from Earth's covered operatives. The Vicari were pulling back, consolidating their forces around their core worlds. Subjugated species on the Empire's fringes were already testing boundaries, sensing weakness in their oppressors. Their emperor has called an emergency conclave, Lieutenant Park said, sliding a datapad across the tactical table. First time in 80 years. Chen nodded. They're scared. They should be. Tactical Officer Rivera added, the fresh scar across his face, still raw from their last engagement. 3 weeks ago, they were planning to strip mine Mars. Now they're hiding behind their defense grid. The crew of the silencer had changed since their first mission. No longer just driven by revenge, they had become the vanguard of humanity's resurgence. Their success had given Earth breathing room to build more ships incorporating the silencer's revolutionary technologies. But they all knew the Vicari wouldn't stay frightened forever. The Empire would adapt, evolve, find countermeasures. Nemesis, Chen addressed the ship's AI. What's your assessment of Vicari response patterns? The blue holographic interface pulsed as the AI processed. They are implementing 3 simultaneous strategies. First, technological adaptation, attempting to replicate our quantum displacement capabilities. Second, diplomatic maneuvering, seeking alliances with previously neutral species. Third, internal purging, executing military leaders who failed to stop us. Classic Empire behavior, Chen said. When threatened, consolidate power and eliminate perceived weakness. Admiral Reeves' face appeared on the main display. Commander, we've received intelligence you need to see immediately. The Vicari aren't just regrouping. They're preparing something called the Dominion Spear. Data flooded the silencer systems, intercepted communications, fragmentary schematics, supply chain logistics. The picture they painted was alarming. The Vicari were constructing a weapon designed specifically to counter the silencer's quantum abilities. They're creating a system-wide quantum inhibitor, Chen realized, studying the data. If they activate it, we lose our primary advantage. Reeves finished. Every jump point becomes a death trap. The command crew fell silent, processing the implications. Without quantum displacement, the silencer would be just an advanced but conventional warship. No match for the combined might of the Vicari fleet. How close are they to completion? Chen asked. Intelligence suggests 4 days, Reeves replied. Maybe 5. Chen's decision was immediate. Then we strike in 3. Not at their fleets or outposts. We go straight for the heart, the imperial throne on Vekar Prime. The plan was audacious to the point of insanity. No enemy force had ever reached the Vicari homeworld. Its location was kept secret, accessible only through heavily guarded jump points. Even if they reached it, Vekar Prime was surrounded by defensive rings that had repelled asteroid impacts without strain. Chen outlined the mission to her crew with unflinching clarity. This isn't about destroying their military capabilities anymore. This is about showing them, and everyone watching, that nothing they build is beyond our reach. The preparations were meticulous. Every system on the silencer was pushed to its limits, components replaced, backup systems reinforced. The quantum displacement drive, the ship's crown jewel, underwent a radical reconfiguration. We're modifying the quantum field to create a cascade effect, Chief Engineer Takeda explained to Chen. When we jump into Vekar Prime's orbit, it won't just be us arriving. What do you mean? Chen asked. Takeda's expression was both proud and terrified of what they'd created. We're going to bring a piece of Earth space with us, a quantum bridge that will only exist for 7 minutes, but during those 7 minutes, Earth's fleet can follow us through. Chen finished, grasping the implications. Directly to the Vicari homeworld, bypassing all their defenses. The engineer nodded. Exactly. But there's a cost. The energy requirements will burn out our drive. One-way trip. Chen considered this, then nodded. Make it happen. 3 days later, the silencer held position in Earth orbit, surrounded by the dozen new warships humanity had constructed based on its technologies. None were as advanced as the silencer, but together they represented humanity's refusal to be extinguished. All ships reporting ready, Park announced. Chen took a moment to look at her crew, the people who had turned a desperate last stand into humanity's greatest achievement. The Vicari thought they understood us. They thought they knew the limits of what humans could accomplish. They were wrong. She settled into the command chair, neural interface connecting her directly to the ship. Nemesis, calculate quantum displacement to Vekar Prime coordinates. Coordinates locked, the AI responded. Quantum bridge modifications in place. Warning. Drive integrity cannot be guaranteed after jump completion. Understood, Chen said. Execute jump. The silencer vanished from Earth space in a silent flash and reappeared in orbit above a gleaming blue-green world that no human had ever seen before. Vekar Prime, the heart of the Empire. For precious seconds, there was no response. The Vicari orbital defenses, programmed to detect incoming vessels at jump points light years away, couldn't process an enemy appearing directly in their atmosphere. Quantum bridge established, Nemesis announced. Earth fleet can transit for 6 minutes and 43 seconds. Behind the silencer, Space rippled as the quantum bridge stabilized. One by one, Earth's warships emerged, taking up formation around their prototype leader. On the planet below, panic erupted. Emergency sirens wailed across the Imperial capital. The Valkyrie, who had brought terror to countless worlds, were experiencing it themselves for the first time. "We're being hailed," Park reported, surprise evident in his voice. "It's the Emperor." The main screen activated, revealing an enormous Valkyrie, its exoskeleton adorned with bioluminescent patterns, denoting supreme authority. Unlike its soldiers, the Emperor had 4 sets of compound eyes, all fixed on Chen with unmistakable fear. "How have you found us?" the Emperor demanded, its translator rendering the clicks and whistles into human language. "No species has ever penetrated our secrecy protocols." Chen stood, facing the alien ruler directly. "You gave us no choice but to exceed what you thought possible. When you attacked New Shanghai without provocation, you unleashed something you don't understand. Human desperation," the Emperor said, mandibles twitching. "We underestimated it." "No," Chen corrected. "Human innovation. You thought technological superiority gave you the right to destroy us. We proved that technology isn't static. It evolves fastest when survival depends on it." The silencer's sensors detected massive energy buildup from the planet's surface defenses. They were preparing to fire. "Those defense systems won't save you," Chen said calmly. "Our quantum technology doesn't just move us through space. It can move your weapon's energy signatures elsewhere. Right now, every defense platform you activate is actually targeting your own governmental districts." The Emperor chittered frantically to its subordinates, who confirmed Chen's claim. The defense grid powered down immediately. "What do you want?" the Emperor asked. "3 things," Chen replied. "First, immediate withdrawal from all human territories. Second, reparations for New Shanghai and other attacked colonies. Third, freedom for all species under Valkyrie control." "You would destroy our empire," the Emperor raged. "No," Chen said. "We're giving you the chance to transform it. Rule through cooperation, not conquest. Your technologies have value. So do those of the species you've subjugated. Imagine what could be accomplished together instead of through domination." The quantum bridge behind them flickered, its stability degrading faster than predicted. "You have 1 hour to agree to our terms," Chen said, "or we demonstrate what else the silencer can do." The Emperor's compound eyes focused on the human vessel, the ship his empire had mocked, the technology they had dismissed. "You could have destroyed us already. Why offer terms?" "Because that's the difference between us," Chen replied. "You attack without warning. We give chances for peace." 57 minutes later, the Emperor transmitted acceptance of all terms. The Valkyrie Dominion, the most powerful empire in the sector, had capitulated to a species they had planned to exterminate. As the Earth fleet prepared to return through the failing quantum bridge, Admiral Reeves contacted Chen. "Commander, the silencer's drive is critically damaged. Our engineers say it won't survive another jump." Chen looked around at her crew, at the ship that had become their home. "We knew this might be one way." "The other ships can take you aboard," Reeves insisted. "No," Chen said firmly. "The silencer stays. Right here, in orbit around Vekar Prime. A reminder of what happens when you underestimate humanity." She turned to her crew. "Anyone who wants to return to Earth can transfer. The rest of us will remain as the first human embassy to the former Valkyrie Dominion." Not a single crew member requested transfer. One by one, the Earth fleet disappeared back through the quantum bridge, returning to celebrate humanity's unexpected victory. The silencer remained, its damaged systems gradually stabilizing into a new configuration. No longer a warship but a monument and a promise. 6 months later, Commander Chen stood on the observation deck of the silencer, watching representatives from 23 species, including humans and Valkyrie, gathering on the planet below for the first interstellar cooperative summit. "They're still afraid of us," Lieutenant Park noted, joining her at the viewport. "Good," Chen replied. "Fear bought us time. But it's respect that will build a future." Below them, the former heart of an empire was becoming the center of something new. And orbiting above it all, the ship they had once mocked now stood as a silent guardian of a fragile peace, a reminder that underestimating your enemy might not just cost you a battle, but an entire empire.